You did what? I sold everything. The house? I sold the house. The cars? I sold all the cars. My mother's china? I sold your mother's china. And the dog. I sold it all. Everything is sold. I didn't keep anything. What would possess you to sell everything we own? I found something that's worth more than all of it put together. I found something that's more valuable than anything we've ever seen or ever had. I found that which is precious. In all our life, we search for that which is precious. And I found it, and I sold everything. I gave it all up so we could have it. I guess you're going to get rid of me too. No. Proverbs says that an excellent wife is hard to find, and you're worth more than jewels. So I'm going to keep you, if you'll let me. But if I have to give up my marriage for the treasure that's most important, don't make me choose. Don't make me choose. Something is worth more than everything else. We have to have that passion within us that says something is more valuable than anything else. And it's not a commodity that is simply benign, and it's not something that is sort of average, or that I can compare it and get a little here and a little there. No, something is worth more than everything. It's worth more than any relationship you have. It's worth more than any commodity that you possess. It's worth more than anything else. Jesus tries to describe that for us when he starts telling a bunch of parables in Matthew chapter 13. And the first one I'm going to refer to isn't on the screen. It's verse 44 right above that. But it says, the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in the field, which a man found and hid again. And from joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has and buys that land. It's a treasure. A treasure. Now, there's lots of property being sold around Springtown right now. Imagine you went out and you found a property, and as you were exploring it, you found a treasure right in the middle of it. It wasn't yours. You couldn't steal it, of course. But maybe no one else knew it was there, and you went and sold everything you had so you could buy that field because you knew that what was in it was worth more than anything you'd ever seen. Or, again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking fine pearls. Upon finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is worth more than anything you have. Okay, the kingdom is worth more than everything you have. Wait a minute, everything? The kingdom of heaven is worth more than everything you have. In it is life itself. The kingdom is more valuable. And you have this passionate feel toward it that says, I'll give up everything to be in the kingdom. I don't know if all of us feel that way. I don't mind a little church here and there. I don't know if I'd give up everything for the kingdom. Give up everything to be called a child of God. I've never even seen God. Sometimes I'm not sure He's there. Why should I give up everything to be called His child? Sitting on the back porch this week, early one morning, just looking things over, listening to the locusts and then the tree frogs. It was so hot, even the locusts were going early in the morning. Way up in the sky, I saw this object, and it slowly got a little larger and a little larger until I could recognize it as a hawk. I need Alex to come tell us what kind of hawk I've got. It's Buckle's business, I suppose. I don't know. I've never seen, it's a sleek-looking hawk. not a red-tailed hawk. It just kept coming lower until I could identify it well. About the time I identified it well, here came a bat between me and the hawk. Just a flip. It was gone. And I sat there on the porch and said, there is no way this is accidental. There is no way we just happen to exist. If it was, we'd all be hawks, right? I mean, we'd be flying in that way. No, there is a designer, an orchestrator. There is a power, a creator. And if there is this creator, then there is this need for me to hear his voice and to fill my life with who he is, and not to be consumed with my passions and desires, but to be filled with his reality. And so then I hear this passage from this man named Jesus who says, there's something that's worth everything, and it is the kingdom of heaven. It's like a merchant seeking fine pearls. You're looking for it. Upon finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. Most of you put on your value glasses every day. A lot of you are getting ready to go to college. Your parents have put your value glasses on for you a little bit. It's way too expensive to go to that school. Yeah, but what if she meets the right guy? Dirt cheap. Didn't cost hardly anything. It worked out great. What? Value gets to be relative, right? Well, it's way too much money for that house. It is way too much money for that house. And you sit down with cooler heads and say, you know what? We can't even afford to live here when we retire because we can't pay the taxes on this place. Why would we buy this house? It's crazy. We don't have to have this house we can't even pay taxes on. Why should we have it? It's just a truck. Boy, it's got brighter lights and the air conditioner's a little better than yours. I hope that's worth $65,000. Because for about 8 or 10, you can drive a beater that has an air conditioner and still has headlights on it. Right? Still going to start, still going to get you from point A to point B. We put on our value glasses and try to figure out, is it worth it? What is the cost? Well, we need to have this advantage coming to us. Upon finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had and bought it. But we get into profit analysis a little bit. We jump over to Matthew chapter 16 here. Jesus said to his disciples, if anyone wishes to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, follow me. Whoever wishes to save his life will lose it. Well, that doesn't sound very beneficial. You're asking me to set out on a course where I lose my life. But whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. Where is my profit and loss? What's my advantage to discipleship and my disadvantage? Is it worth following Jesus? Is the kingdom of heaven really worth everything? He says, for what will a man profit if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul? The world wants to tell you that your life is more important to you than anything else. And I'm here to tell you that your soul is more important to you than your life. Your soul is not bound to this terra firma. You're not confined to this world. Your soul is an eternal thing outside of this world. It's worth more than everything else. Well, now, wait a minute. We're thrilled that Dale got a kidney. Yes, we're thrilled. We want to see him for a few more years. I hope he doesn't live 50 more. He's old. He doesn't want to be that old, right? No, we want to have good life. We want to have quality life. We're excited and thankful about our physical life. But this is not all there is. There's something greater than this. For me to find my real life, I'm going to have to lose myself. That's Jesus' kind way of saying, yourself has to get out of the way. Selfishness is the number one sin. Matter of fact, selfishness may be the only sin. Yourself is going to have to get out of the way. You're going to have to lose yourself. so that you can find that which is most valuable. Well, I thought the world revolved around me. No. God is God. The world holds because of the word of his power. It revolves around him and Jesus working in the Spirit. And he says that if you'll lose your life for his sake, you'll find it. What will a man give in exchange for his soul? What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world? Did that ever happen? Remember that day in Jesus' life? Satan comes to him, shows him all the kingdoms of the world. Tell you what, Jesus, I'll give all to you. I'll let you have all of it if you'll just bow down to me. If you'll honor me, I'll give you all the world. And Jesus hears this passage in the back of his mind that he hasn't said yet, but he knows. What will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? If you could have everything in the world. Hollywood makes lots of movies about selling your soul to the devil, right? You can be the best baseball player. You can be the best financier. All those movies have been made. He says, no. I want you to know there's something more valuable than everything in the world, than the world itself. It is the kingdom of heaven and your soul in it. He says, what's it going to profit a man, or what will he give in exchange for his soul? Well, I've seen some people lose some pretty big stuff in exchange for their soul. Well, we need to find our own pearl. There is something more valuable than anything else, everything else to you. You need to have a profit loss analysis. It is worth everything. But then you need to understand there is a pearl for everyone. Most of us, if we assume that there is one field and one treasure, and we sell everything we have to find that treasure, or that one pearl of great price, that there's only one pearl of great price. And Jesus says there is a pearl for everyone. I have provided a pearl for everyone. I want you to do what Byron mentioned earlier. I want you to go share the good news that God has a pearl for everyone. Excuse me. He longs for you to find that which is most precious. Now, the verse right ahead of this in 1 John chapter 2, verse 1 and 2 says, I write these things that you may not sin. And if anyone sins, we have an advocate with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. All right, I'm writing so you won't sin, but if anyone sins, we have an advocate, someone on our side with the Father, Jesus Christ, the righteous. He's righteous. We claim his righteousness. We share in it. And he himself is the propitiation. New American uses that. NIV says the atoning sacrifice. That's a little more understandable. He himself is the atoning sacrifice for our sins. And not for ours only, but also for those of the whole world. The moment you find the pearl of great price, you can turn around and tell someone, I found it. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to guard it. It's not so small that what is worth everything to you is not available to everyone else. How can something that valuable be that accessible? He says, I'm making it available to everyone. Jesus didn't just die for a select few. He died for the whole world. He longs to save everyone. I loved Ricky's prayer this morning. Everything that brings us into that mentality. This is not an exclusive place of judgmentalism where we hope we get ours and maybe you'll get yours. No, this is the place where we found the great value, and it is so great everyone can share it. Anyone can find their pearl. And that's really what he's asking for. Will you come to the kingdom and find that it's worth everything you have? And will you give up everything for it? Will you die, deny yourself, take up your cross, and follow me? That's what I want to find out from you. Are you sold out and committed to the fact that this is worth everything? And share it. Tell everyone it's the most precious thing in the world, the most precious thing out of the world. It is the saving of the soul. It is more valuable than anything you can fathom. Here's your take home this morning. Have you found your pearl? Have you found your pearl? I want to tell you something. If you haven't found your pearl, then you have found an idol. Because an idol is anything that you would hold on to besides this pearl. Yeah, I hear what God says. I just can't give up. I hear what God says. I just can't relinquish control. Then that is an idol, whatever it is. Whatever Satan is using to hold you away, making you think, well, you can't give that up. That's not more valuable than the kingdom. It's not more valuable than a relationship with God. The pearl of great price is that aha moment where you come to realize what I have found is so precious, nothing compares. Everything pales in comparison. Where you look those hairy-legged guys in the eye and say, I love you, but I love God more. If I can't love God more than you, then we can't be in relationship together because He's number one with me. Or you find that gorgeous girl, and that gorgeous girl says, I'll marry you as long as you never say the word church again. Man, that's tough. What? I want to be your controller. I want to be your focus. Well, you're going to have to look that gorgeous girl in the eye and say, we need to go pearl hunting before we go any further. We need to see if you can find your pearl. I found mine. There's something worth more to me than anything else in the world. Well, I wouldn't marry anyone that didn't think I was the most important. No, yes, you would. Because if he thinks God is the most important thing in the world, he'll treat you like a queen. You will be the jewel in his eye. And if he doesn't think that, then he might find someone else that he thinks is the pearl. That would be scary. Have you found your pearl this morning? What's holding that space in your heart? I pray that you are like a merchant seeking fine pearls and you found the kingdom and you're willing to sell everything to enter into it, to force your way into it. And then that you'll do that wonderful thing at sharing pearls. I really wanted this to be maybe a little more evangelistic lesson than it really turned out to be. I want you all to now think about the information you have to go share with everyone else. You know something that is more valuable to them than they can fathom. Most of them just want to live a long time. You know how to live forever. Most of them just want to have stuff to make them happy. You know that stuff can't make you happy. You've already learned that because you found that which is most valuable. You have found the pearl. And it's time to share that information with the world around us. Is there anyone in Springtown that God doesn't want to give a pearl to? No. He's got a pearl for everyone. He wants everyone to find their pearl this morning. Maybe you're finding yours. Maybe you want to claim your pearl. How do I get my pearl? Oh, it's coming to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, entering into his kingdom, allowing him to wash your sins away and raise you to walk in newness of day so that your reality becomes that which is most precious. Not compromised. Not compromised. I don't listen to a lot of Christian radio. I was listening this morning. I just put Casting Crowns on my Pandora to play while I shaved and got ready for church. And there was a song came on that you probably all know, but that I had not heard. But it was this dimension of I'm not going to simply settle for the moment. I'm going to walk for the eternal. I'm not going to just accept for today. I'm going to find that which lives forever. It fit this morning pretty well. I don't know who sang it, but I want you to think about finding that which is most precious. Sell out to it. Give your life over to that control. As together we stand and sing.